Marvel Studios assembled for Doctor Strange 2, headed to Disney Plus in July. Marvel fans will get a chance to learn more about the making of the latest MCU film, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, when a new episode of Marvel Studios Assembled arrives on Disney Plus. The new episode is set to arrive on the streaming service on July 1st. Like previous episodes in the series, this will showcase a behind-the-scenes look at the film detailing its creation and the steps that were taken in bringing it to the big screen. Starring in this documentary is Sam Raimi, the director of the film, who will take part alongside members of the film's cast. With many massive implications for the greater MCU, seeing how this film became what it did should give fans an idea of where things could be headed going forward. Fans will get a chance to watch Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness once again before the new episode of Marvel Studios Assembled. The film is set to drop on Disney Plus this week, on June 22nd, after completing a massive theatrical run. The films will also be made available to purchase digitally, stacked with a ton of features including deleted scenes that didn't make the final cut of the film. Those who would prefer to own a physical copy of Doctor Strange 2 won't need to wait long either. DVD, 4K, and Blu-ray versions of the film will go on sale in just over a month, on July 26th. If you aren't familiar with the Marvel Studios Assembled format, then you can stream a ton of episodes for previous Marvel Studios projects on Disney Plus right now. Is Kamala's new origin story in Ms. Marvel teasing Inhumans debut? When Ms. Marvel's trailer and its first episode debuted, it wasn't hard to jump to the conclusion that the Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU, was really and truly done with its least successful characters ever, i.e. the Inhumans. In the Marvel Comics, the young Kamala Khan is an Inhuman, blessed with the power of embiggening, where she displays Mr. Fantastic-like powers, but so far her live-action adaptation has not exhibited any elastic limbs or shape-shifting abilities. So, bye-bye Inhumans. Well, if only the answer was that simple. When it comes to the MCU, it is only normal for the on-screen adaptation to tinker with the origin story of the character so that it fits the overarching storyline. But while the live-action Steve Rogers still became Captain America after taking the super soldier serum and Mark Spector turned into Moon Knight after Khonshu pulled him away from the jaws of certain death, Ms. Marvel has so far skirted around its titular character's comics-accurate superpowers and significantly altered her origin story. For those who don't know, it was only recently that Marvel Studios managed to reacquire the X-Men and is hopefully making concrete plans for their MCU debut. But years ago, when 20th Century Fox had this nifty bunch of superpowered mutants under its thumb and was busy making the lucrative X-Men films, the Marvel studio decided to bring its own group of mutant-like superheroes, the Inhumans, to compete with them. Unfortunately, the Inhuman status as one of the least popular Marvel characters translated to their on-screen debut as well when the titular show was released on ABC in 2017. The less-than-favorable reviews and low viewership ratings led the network to promptly cancel it just after one season, stomping on Scott Buck's elaborate three-season plans. While the future of the likes of Medusa, Crystal, etc. are uncertain at best, Kamala Khan, who appeared in the comic books for the first time in 2014, was singled out by the studio to join the MCU's glorious Phase 4 plans. But while her status as an Inhuman in the comic books was confirmed beyond doubt, after her unexpected exposure to the cosmic Terrigen mist that awakens her latent superpowers, the Disney Plus series hasn't concretely seconded the same in its storyline so far. We are 2 episodes into the series, and while Kamala's superpowers have already made themselves known, their trigger isn't the powerful mist. Anyone who has boarded the train of Kamala's, Ms. Adventures already knows that her latent powers have received the necessary kickstart from an ancient-looking bracelet, which belonged to her great-grandmother, Aisha. Along with the catalyst of her powers, their presentation has been changed as well. Instead of displaying shape-shifting prowess, the on-screen Kamala gets enveloped in a purplish hue and produces a crystal-like hard light. While there are obvious vibes that Kamala's great-grandmother was a superhuman, the possibility that she is, an Inhuman is so not explicitly in the details, yet. Yes, there was a bracelet in the comics as well, but it was not the root of Kamala's powers, which were definitely not that embroiled in a mysterious family drama as shown in the series. So, has the studio completely switched Kamala's story? Well, there are multiple factors that contribute to the possibility, starting with the fact that ever since the failed Inhumans TV series, the studio has pretty much abandoned this tight circle of superheroes, something which has become even more evident ever since they got the X-Men back. Yes, for the time being, even though Ms. Marvel seems to have ditched the roots of its titular character's superpowers, they are there in the spirit. In the first episode, when Kamala tries to save her classmate, she accidentally shoots forward hard light that takes the form of a giant hand, which resembled her big, rubber-like mega fist, courtesy of her shape-shifting powers, in the comic books. There is also the epic moment where Kamala wears the bracelet for the first time during the Avengers Con and finds herself briefly sinking in a mysterious alternate reality draped in a rich purple hue and full of faceless people who stand with white glowing eyes while holding what appears to be weapons of some sort. Comic book readers are already aware that whenever Kamala used her powers, she borrowed mass from her alternate selves across the many realities. It is very much possible that this impromptu cosmic trip was a glimpse of her alternate selves or perhaps, wait for it, a peek at her Inhuman ancestors. While it may sound a bit far-fetched, it does seemingly drop hints that Kamala's great-grandmother's history isn't the only one influencing our young superheroes present. Florence Pugh to star in East of Eden adaptation for Netflix. Don't Worry Darling star Florence Pugh is set to star in an upcoming adaptation of John Steinbeck's American masterpiece, East of Eden for Netflix. The Big Sick actress Zoe Kazan will write and co-produce the miniseries. Kazan's grandfather, Elia Kazan, directed the 1955 version of the film that starred cinematic icon James Dean in his first screen role. Pugh will also share a producer credit. The story is loosely based upon the biblical tale of Cain and Abel, and tells the story of a family living in World War I-era California. Steinbeck considered the story of brothers Aaron and Caleb Trask to be his greatest work, one which explores themes of betrayal, acceptance, guilt and freedom, duty and love. Few details have been released regarding the new adaptation, but it does appear that Pugh will star as Kathy Ames, the mother of Caleb and Aaron Trask and the principal antagonist in the book. Steinbeck characterizes Ames in the novel as a psychic monster possessed of a malformed soul. I fell in love with East of Eden when I first read it, in my teens. Since then, adapting Steinbeck's novel, the great, sprawling, three-generational entirety of it, has been my dream. More than anything, I have wanted to give full expression to the novel's astonishing, singular anti-heroine, Kathy Ames. Florence Pugh is our dream Kathy. I can't imagine a more thrilling actor to bring this character to life. Writing this limited series over the last 2 years has been the creative high point of my life. I hope that with our partners at Netflix, Anonymous Content, and Endeavor Content, we can do justice to this material, and shed new light on it for a 21st century audience. The project, currently in development, is still seeking a director as well as actors to portray major characters Adam, Caleb, and Aaron Trask, and the story's love interest, Abra Bacon. Anonymous Content and Endeavor Content will co-produce the series. No release date has been confirmed. The Batman Blu-ray features revealed. The Batman is set to launch on Blu-ray next month, and ahead of this launch, the bonus features for the release have been revealed. According to High Def Disc News, the Blu-ray release of The Batman will include 11 extra features exclusive to the physical release of the film. Vengeance in the Making. Vengeance Meets Justice. The Batman, Genesis. Becoming Catwoman. Looking for Vengeance. Anatomy of the Car Chase. Anatomy of the Wingsuit. A Transformation, The Penguin. The Batmobile. Unpacking the icons. Deleted scenes with director's commentary. These editions will also be available in the film's 4K Ultra HD release, which will include the Blu-ray version of the film and a digital code. It was also announced today that The Batman is headed to HBO Max on the same day as its digital release, i.e., April 18th. This precedes the Blu-ray and 4K releases of the film, which will take place almost a month later on May 24th. The Batman is the first time that Robert Pattinson took on the role of the Caped Crusader of Gotham. The movie, which was released back in March, told the story of the DC hero but kept him out of the larger DCU and flaunted a completely new cast that included Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman and Colin Farrell as Penguin. Universally loved by both critics and fans, The Batman currently boasts a certified fresh 85% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes and a similarly high audience score of 87%.